Welcome back to the channel, Exile. In last Friday's video we've presented our Artillery Ballista Smith of Kitava Early League version build. Now the reception has been overwhelmingly positive, thank you very much for that. Just a few people wanted to find out if there was a version of this that we could make that dealt a lot more damage. An endgame version, if you will. While this build is not a boss killer per se, we've managed to crank this thing up to well over double the damage of last week. First, I'm going to show you guys in a short showcase just what this build is capable of right now, and then we're going to go into the changes that we've made. This build just got a lot stronger. Let's go, guys.
We that dreamed, we in nightmare, we that are one, we are fury, the womb of existence, we shall flesh is not ours, we that fail. I shall enact your fate. Time to finish this! The hour grows late. Inconsequential. Who are you to overthrow your fate? Too late. The fourth edict already burns for your world. Ashes to ashes. Permanent suffering.
Let's take a little bit of a look at the changes that we've made. The most important centerpiece of the changes got suggested to us by Nakram under last week's YouTube video, and he suggested we check out the Leopold's Applause if we continue with a fire version, due to its ability to have your hits penetrate elemental resistances below 0, or actually to a minimum of minus 50%, which would be a huge damage increase if you could get to that minus 50 reliably. Now, the gloves themselves have 10% elemental resistance pen, and with the changes we've made on our skill tree, we actually get down to minus 54% pen without using anything like an exposure from oil grenade. So yes guys, in fact we are now back at fire again, because the minus 50 resistances on every enemy we hit, we simply cannot make up for with any of the other tricks we've done. Does that mean we've now lost shock? Not really. What we've done is we've gotten a quadrilla with haste aura and all damage shocks. Now here's the shit part of that. After yesterday's patch, the quadrillas no longer rule with haste aura. That's a problem. I don't like that. It is what it is. People have been complaining about monster speed, and this is a negative side effect of those changes. Having said that, there are still other beasts you can find outside of quadrillas that will have the haste aura and all damage shock, but they will be rare. I don't have a one-size-fits-all answer on where you should fish for those, but I would say right now all damage shock is going to be the most important modifier, with haste being used to flow through maps nice and speedy. So if you can find both, great, but you want that shock on there. You're going to link that to Last Gasp, Elemental Army, Meat Shield, and obviously Overcharge. Overcharge means that when we shock the enemy, combined with the fact that we're using Voltaic Mark still on them, they will have a 43% shock modifier on them. That means we capped our shock versus single target and bosses where we wanted it, but we now got this minus 50 base res on every enemy that we hit, which is what you see in that showcase and what increased our damage. Now these gloves aren't cheap, they are 4 to 5 div right now as of the making of this video, but the damage increase make it worth it and then some. For a quick overview of the rest of the skills, let's do that really quickly. We are using our Artillery Ballista with Martial Tempo, Primal Armament, Overabundance, Elemental Focus, and Fire Infusion. We are no longer using any of the AoE increasers in our Artillery Ballista at all, for we don't seem to be needing it. We've got enough AoE on the tree here, and here, so our overlap is all but guaranteed. And we've swapped out Concentrated Effect for bosses for Elemental Focus, because now we solely rely on our Quadrilla or another companion to shock the single target enemies, such as bosses like we've seen in the showcase. Meaning Elemental Focus is the ideal damage increase without losing some AoE there. Voltaic Mark, guys, is still the same, persistence on there, and we have Time of Need returned with Vitality, because we don't need that presence so that enemies have a bigger chance to get elemental ailments on them, because they always get shocked by the Quadrilla. So the little bit extra regen there when we need it, and you know, removes curses and elemental ailments is nice to have there. Couple that with Vitality for some extra regen. And then we have Oil Grenade, guys, with Strip Away, with Reach, and Magnified Effect for a big area of nice minus 24 resistances. Now let's take a quick look at the tree to see how we utilize these gloves to the fullest. What we've done is we've traveled over here and we grabbed 6% pen here, 5% pen here, that's 11. We grabbed this, that puts us at 26. This one puts us at 32. This one puts us at 44, plus the 10% inherent to the gloves itself put you at 54% pen. Meaning enemies with 0 fire res will be down to a negative of minus 50. Alternatively, if you don't want to spend gold but you want to spend currency, you can spend those 4 nodes over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and instead grab yourself a jewel like this, which will give you a little bit of extra life regeneration rate, elemental damage, and damage penetrates 10% fire resistance on top, making up for the fire resistance here and adding a few more modifiers, but a jewel like that might run you 1 or 2 div. Cheapest option still remains going to the left side of the tree over here to grab that extra pen. I'm gonna leave you guys in the video description and in the pinned comment the revised PoE. I'm not gonna leave the entire written guide in there because this is just for the changes that you could do from the previous week's version of the Lightning version to this week's version. You will see new jewels in there with new stats other than shock, and you will see the new tree in there and the new gear used to make use of this. Now, in terms of gear changes that you might need to make this work, you're gonna need a little bit extra int, because 83 int is not something we inherently want to have on our gear at all, so you're gonna have to get that somewhere, whether that's on your rings or your amulet or wherever it is. You could get it on your boots, I think I've done as well. It's up to you how you do that, but you're gonna be needing to get some int to make these gloves work. This is the centerpiece that you're gonna need to get that damage to that high degree, combined with the extra pen on the tree. Now we can still use things like flammability as well, but we more than likely won't need it unless some enemy has some ridiculous degree of fire resistance inherent to itself, but usually it's not gonna matter at all. Now the one thing this build cannot do, and I've tried it, is Simulacrum. I got stuck on a wave 11 with increased monster life and extra damage as Chaos and a couple of other shit mods, and it just didn't pull through. I got surrounded and that was that. But I think pretty much anything else this build should be able to do with enough patience and enough player skill, obviously, because the time for steamrolling content seems to be drawing at an end, and any build that is capable of doing exactly that will quickly get the rebalancing treatment from GGG. So I hope this helps you guys, and it helps the guys that were looking for a little bit more damage in their build, a little bit more punch to get exactly what you wanted from this build. If you have any other questions, guys, leave them in the Discord channel or under this video. If you like this kind of content, leave a thumbs up as well, guys, and please sub. I will be live again after the Kennedy Mars, which is this Saturday, where I'll be attempting another 80k that I do usually. That's a 50 mile, guys. So we will be back the week after that, and we will be testing different kinds of totems, because spoiler alert, we are not done yet with totems. In fact, I think I can make shockwave totem work. Yes. More about that next week, guys. Thank you very much for watching.